Hello, this is Math 7, Lesson 5.6, Calculating the Area of a Circle. So today's goal is to develop and apply the formula for area of a circle. So if you look right up at the beginning, it says Yan is setting up sprinklers to water a field. Each sprinkler sprays water in a circle with a diameter of 8 meters. So the equation for area of a circle is area equals pi r squared. Now every time you have a squared symbol, it just means the radius times the radius, okay? What it isn't, it is not pi times 2 times the radius. Lots of people think that 2 right there means times it by 2. That is absolutely incorrect. Whenever you have something squared, it means take that number and multiply it by itself. So if I had 4 squared, it would be 4 times 4. If I had 8 squared, it would be 8 times 8. And if I have r squared, it's r times r, whatever the radius is. Okay? So when calculating area, it is not like circumference. When you did circumference, you could use either the pi or the radius or the diameter. When calculating area, you can only use the radius. So sometimes, like in the next example, you have to change the diameter to a radius in order to calculate the area. So the area is pi r squared, or pi times radius times radius. But there's an issue here. That 8 is not radius, that is diameter. So if I want the radius, remember, all I have to do is take the diameter and divide it by 2. So 8 divide 2, and I get 4 meters. So now I have the radius, and I can calculate the area, or amount of space this circle takes up. So if I did this, it would be 3.14 times the radius of 4 times the radius of 4. Okay? Now on my calculator, I do these calculations, and I get 50.24. Now right away you would lose 0.25 marks if you just put this answer down. And the reason is because numbers are useless without units. This is area, so it should be meters squared. Okay? So if you're calculating area, all you have to do is take the radius times pi. Okay. So on the next page, I have a try question. What I would like you to do is pause this video and give this question a try. Pause the video now. Okay, so you just tried this try question. Let's see how you did. So remember, the equation for area is pi times radius, or pi r squared. We have the radius of 9, so that would be 3.14 times the radius of 9 times the radius of 9. I enter that in my calculator and I get 254.34 meters squared. It is area, so the unit should be squared. Okay? So hopefully you got that correct. Next question is just a word problem. So we have a circular garden stone. Now, whenever it's a word problem, I always recommend drawing the circle. So we have a circular garden stone with a diameter of 5.0 meters. And it wants to know the area of this garden stone. Well, we know the area equals pi times radius times radius. Well, this number right here is not radius, that is diameter. So we have to get the radius, and the radius is equal to the diameter divided by 2. So 5 divided 2 is 2.5. So now we can use that number. So I get 3.14 times 2.5 times 2.5. And I put that number into my calculator and I get 19.625. Now, the unit, it is meters, so it should be meters squared. Okay? Okay, so now I would like you to do a couple more try questions. I have exactly all 6 circles and this word problem. Pause the video now and give them a try and we'll go over your answers. Okay, So hopefully you tried those questions and were successful on most of them. This first one is a word problem, and remember, whenever I said you have word problems, you must draw a circle. So here's one circle with a radius of 4.5, and here is another circle with a radius of 7.0 meters. And it says that the area must be between these two circles. So what I have to do is I have to get the area of each. Well, in this one, area equals pi times radius, and we'd get 3.14 times 4.5 times 4.5. And the area of that is 63.585 meters, so meters squared. Now we do the large circle, and I would get area equals pi times radius, which would be 3.14 times 7 times 7. I'd put that on my calculator, and I'd get 153.86 meters squared. So what this means is the circle that I create for DPA for my game has to be between these two areas. If it is not, it will not work. So if I asked you an area that would work, you would say 80 meters squared or 100 meters squared. As long as the number is between those two, you are okay. Okay, so I also in the try question gave you these 6 circles to try. Right away, this is a diameter, so we need the radius. So the radius is 18, divide 2, and I get 9. So if I got the area, it would be 3.14 times 9 times 9. And I put that on my calculator, and I get 254.34 centimeters squared. Again, the next one, the 6, is a diameter. So if I want the radius, it's the diameter divide 2, and I get 3. So the area is 3.14 times 3 times 3. I put that on my calculator, and I get a value of 28.26 meters squared. The next one, again, is a diameter. So to get the radius, I'd take 23 divided by 2, and I'd get 11.5. So to get the area, it's 3.14 times 11.5 times 11.5. I put that all onto my calculator, and I get 415.265 centimeters squared. Now, the next one is the radius, so I do not have to divide whatsoever. So if I take this, I'd take 3.14 times 4 times 4. I'd put that on my calculator, and I'd get 50.24 centimeters squared. This one, again, a radius, so I don't have to divide by 2. 3.14 times 10 times 10, and I get a value of 314 meters squared. Radius, again, do not have to divide by 2, so 3.14 times 7 times 7, and I get a value of 153.86 centimeters squared. Okay, so that is the lesson, but I am going to point out a few common errors that happen a lot. Common errors, people sometimes use the radius, or use the diameter instead of the radius. So they would go 3.14 times 18 times 18. But the area equation can only use radius. It cannot use diameter. When the only equations with circles that can use both radius and diameter are the two given for circumference. Circumference is perimeter around a circle. Okay? Area is the space in between a circle. Two different things. And area always has square units, and circumference is a length, so it's just a meters or a centimeters. Okay, now that you have tried the lesson, you may begin your homework.